Listen to and viewed from over 95 countries from around the world, this is the GridCast, and I am your host, Danny Cox, and with me is my co-host. He's a box owner and a grid enthusiast, and because of the Supreme Court's decision recently, we can now marry. It's Conan and Bruce.
That is an awesome thing, however, my wife would not agree.
And neither would mine.
Neither is yours.
Neither one. But you know what? Legally, we
could if we wanted to.
That's right.
Hallelujah.
Hey, before we forget, go on to www.thegridcast.com and sign up for our newsletter. Also, like us on all the social media platforms and yada yada. We always talk.
Don't just
that.
Like us, love us.
Love us. That's right. On Quad 1, we're going to talk about Week 2's matchup in the NPGL. That's going to be the Kilimanjaro races. We're going to break that down a little bit and how it affects every team. And in Quad 2,
Team GridCast.
Throwing down the gauntlet.
All right. Quad 3.
And Quad 3, we have Will Hall from the San Francisco Fire. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start the show.
See you there.
We love to lift, laugh, and improve. This is Björk Odinsdatter.
All right, guys, we had a lot of people asking us about when they can watch the grid matches that actually played out in San Jose. So there were 4 matches. Yep. All 8 teams played, and that will be on NBC
Sports.
I'm sorry, you're right. NBC Sports, an even better channel.
That's right.
And the basic layout is you're going to have July, middle of July. There's going to be 4 different. Is it on a weekend?
No, it's on Tuesday and Wednesday. On 2 following weeks.
So the 14th and 15th, 21st and 22nd. You guys can probably find this online, but people keep asking us about it, so we're just letting you know. 14th, 15th, 21st, 22nd. 6:30 at night Eastern time.
Yes.
6:30 at night Eastern time. So if you're out in California, I don't know what time that is, but it's not 6:30.
Well, they made it also an hour-and-a-half match. It's not going to be the 2.5 hours.
Right. It's just, and it's like produced a little bit more. It's not just the match.
They've had some time.
Right.
Between the first matches and when it actually airs.
Yeah.
They've had some time.
And you'll want to see this because, it's cool to watch it. Obviously, we saw it live and we were there. But, like when I watch a football game, like I go to a football game, I can't keep up with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
You miss stuff. You're looking over here and something happened here. So I like watching it on TV because they can draw your attention to the really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And the announcers, have had a chance to kind of see it already.
Yep.
And it'll be a good production. You guys should watch it for sure.
Yeah. So on July 14th, you have New York versus Baltimore from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And then July 15th is Boston versus DC. July 21st, we'll show the Miami versus LA match. And July 22nd, the Phoenix versus San Francisco Fire.
Yep.
So, okay, so we want to talk about the Week 2 matches. So the Week 2 matches, the structure is going to be around Match Kilimanjaro. And don't know if you guys, care or not, but the reason why I'm bringing it up is because what we can do when we talk about Kilimanjaro and the movements that are in there, we can actually look at previous races that had the same elements and then start to compare the teams. So we can try to predict what kind of score we're going to see. Did teams get better?
I don't know if you guys know, but we're pretty good with the predictions.
We're 4-0 on the first week.
We'll see what happens with Week 2.
I'm even going to throw out the scores on Week 2.
Ooh. Danny's going to throw out the scores.
Now, we'll see.
Can
we'll
the
see how close
Gridmaster
I get.
do that? Can the Gridmaster do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think he has it in him.
So we can see if we can get within 2 or 3 points. I think I can get it within 2, 3, 4 points on either end.
Now people are going to ask, what's the over-under?
Well, wait till this gets into Vegas, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to be all over that.
I'll be there.
So, all right. So in Kilimanjaro, the partner forward match is going to be a bunch of snatches and box jump over. So heavy
bunch
snatches.
of snatches.
Well, 5, 4, 3, 2. So
Yeah.
I don't know how many is that. 9.
That's not
12.
a bunch. That's a few.
Yeah, it's a few. Snatches and box jump overs. And the mirror is going to be thrusters. And then for the what's I trying to say?
The ladder.
Yeah, the ladder. Well, so the mirrors. What I'm trying to say is what is it called? Dang it, the echoes. God dang. Can you just echo me?
Echo.
When I say echo,
Yeah.
all right. God dang it. That's deadlifts, chest to bars, rope climbs, and ground to overhead. And then the ladder is going to be cleans. And then you have handstand push-up frenzy is going to be on the Jack and Jill. You go from 5-inch deficit to a 10-inch deficit, but at least you can go against the wall and then onto freestanding.
Yeah, those suck.
Oh, my God. And the triads are overhead squats, toes to bar, pistols, muscle-ups, and burpee over box. And then the sprint relay has wall balls, overhead squats, dumbbell snatch, handstand walk, 9 bar muscle-ups, 90 double unders, burpees, and clean and jerks. heavy clean jerks at the end.
I like the format for this one. I like the. I think
too.
it's a good mix of gymnasty.
Oh yeah.
And barbell.
Sorry, I couldn't remember Echo. God, that drives me nuts. I can't remember it. I didn't have it in my stupid notes, and I'm like relying on my notes here.
That's when I always go get a beer, so I never can remember Echo either.
You know what's crazy though? On the first week of matches, there really were differences in the score, and I didn't expect that. I thought that the same team would win both times. That was not the case.
Yeah.
On week one.
Well, I think a lot of teams don't respect the Echo because you have to respect the fact you have a quick turnaround. Yep. You got to recover. And the movements tax you in a way that you don't really think about, right? You think I've got time, and you don't. You just go right back again, and it's like if you were to do sprints, right?
Yep.
And you're maintaining that same pace every time. You have to practice. You have to get really good at that to be able to maintain that and know where your 70% is to know where you can stay in that zone.
Yep.
Right.
So, talk about DC versus Baltimore. That's going to be the first matchup in the Kilimanjaros. So that's going to be on August 9th in the DC area. And I predict that Baltimore is going to come out strong just like they did in week one. And I see them winning the first two races over the DC Brawlers. But then I think the women are going to take charge and the Echoes. Men are probably going to lose it again for DC. But then you're going to see in the ladders and the Jack and Jill. God, why am I having a hard time remembering? So Jack and Jill.
You haven't had enough of that beer yet.
No, you're absolutely right. So
Ryan Elrod. Drink your good luck.
Ryan Elrod is going to destroy anybody in the Jack and Jill. Any body weight movement that's out there, he's just going to destroy. So I really think that you're going to see a big difference starting in race 8, and DC's going to take it home all the way from race 8 to the end.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because you don't see a lot of Baltimore have really good muscle endurance. We saw that in week 1. I don't know if they're working on that now. Hopefully that they are.
Yeah.
But I actually see that match going for DC 21-15 when it's all said and done.
I think it's going to be funny one time when Klokov jumps up on the rings and knocks out a bunch of backward rolls to support and looks over and goes, F you, Danny.
I really hope that happens. I really hope that he even knows my name to say F you, Danny.
He remembers you. You interviewed him.
I did interview him.
Only of like 1,000 people that have interviewed him?
He's this little chubby guy, Danny. He interviewed me up in New Jersey in the middle of my seminar. He was a real pain in butt. I'm sure that's what he said.
That's exactly what he said.
So right after the DC versus Baltimore match, we have Boston versus New York. So this one I think is going to be a lot closer, and actually I see them close pretty much right until the very end. The reason being is because you have Boston Abgarian is going to be sick on any kind of body weight movement, but then you also have Andrew Rape, who's pretty good at body weight movements, and he's also extremely strong.
Pretty good at body weight movements.
Okay, so he's really good.
He's
For
an
a
anomaly.
big dude, he is
an anomaly.
insane, right? There's a handstand walk that's in there, too. I wouldn't be surprised to see him do the handstand walks in the sprint relay at the very end, Andrew Rape, and I think that's actually going to make a pretty big difference.
And I think he's going to handstand walk over the rig. He's probably just going to add a little spice to it
right.
because he's like, this isn't hard enough.
Right, exactly. Without touching the ground, I'm going to go over the rig across quadrants 2 and 3. So anyway, how I see this facing out is I think New York's going to win this one 20-16.
Wow.
But it's going to come all the way down to the end, though, because I really see that Boston is going to be pretty strong, especially on the women's side. I think the women's speed is you have Boston on the upper hand there, but the women's strength is definitely on the New York side with Sarah Beth Phillips. So that's my guess on that one.
That's our predictions.
Those are our predictions.
Sticking to them.
So that concludes Quadrant 1 and finishes all our reps there.
I am really looking forward to Quadrant 2.
Yeah, I'm ready to throw down on Quadrant 2.
See you there.
So let's get there.
All right, let's talk about Team GridCast here in Quad 2.
Who again?
Team GridCast.
Team GridCast, casting a shadow over everyone else.
This is so we get this. We announced this already, but I think it kind of slid by a few people.
Yeah.
So this is the GridCast, obviously, right? But Team GridCast is a team that we are sponsoring and putting together to go to the Grid Invitational in Anaheim in September.
Yes.
That's the championship week, NPGL championship week. So
An exhibition badass team.
Yeah, so they're doing a Grid Invitational, right? So they're taking 16 teams, and they're going to have an invitational during championship week. The championship match for the Grid Invitational is going to be played right before the championship match for the MPGL. So it's badass. Huge event.
Huge.
Going to be great. So we've got a team in it. But some people are getting it a little twisted. They think that we're just kind of half-assing this and just, we're just going to put a team in. No, folks, don't get it wrong, okay? No. We are putting a team in to win. GridCast, when it comes, we'll joke and smoke and have a few beers and hang out on the GridCast.
Cheers.
Cheers for that.
Right.
But when it comes to competition, we don't play around, all right? We are very competitive people, all right? And so here's the thing. I've been getting a lot of pushback on the fact that we weren't doing a lot of smack talk online on social media, right? From a few buddies of ours, and that's okay. But just so everybody knows, I'm not much of a smack talker personally. Like, I just like to show up, kill people, and leave. Right? You don't talk smack about that. You just, and I don't literally mean kill people. Well, maybe in the past.
Well, when he's in the military.
Maybe in the past, right?
You kind of does your job.
But what I mean is come in, beat them, and walk away. Maybe a little high five, but no fist pumps. Just walk off the, walk off the floor. Show up, play the game, right? So, but you know what?
I'll give you a shoulder to cry on, by the way.
There's nothing wrong with a little smack talk, though. So I don't think I have any moral, issues with smack talk. Right. It's just that I'm not big on it. So we're probably not doing a lot of that on social media. Now Danny, on the other hand.
Oh,
no problem with smack talk.
No problem at all. No, I think the Irish people that come over, they're just going to be drunk the whole time. It's not really going to work out. The Texas Bloodhounds are going to be sniffing our asses as we pass them right by.
We're probably going to get the Rhino Chasers, or what are they?
Rhino something. I don't even know who they are.
So here's the thing. If you want to know what happens when you just throw a team together full of people that you think are really good athletes.
They become 8th place in the NPGL, like the Anthem.
Ooh. I wasn't going to particularly out them. Right? I wasn't going to out them. I was just going to say, I was going to use an analogy to say, if you just throw a bunch of athletes together and show up, many of those athletes who, by the way, have never run a grid race ever.
Hey, before we move on, though, sorry, Tracy. Sorry, Garrett.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. You know we love you guys. But it is what it is, right? So it is what it is. Here's the thing. Our team, most of them have been in a championship match.
Yes. And
all of them have raced time and time again. We're coming to win.
And a lot of them are already playing on Throwdown Fridays.
Exactly. So, but let me tell you why we're so committed to winning is because of our cause. Yes. Right? So if you guys haven't noticed, so this team is an exhibition team. This team won't play in regular leagues, regular seasons. No. What we're going to do is we're going to just go to invitationals. That's going to allow the athletes on our team to actually play on other teams and be in seasons. And hopefully, many of them will go to the pros. So we probably won't have this team, the exact team, forever because these people are so good that they're actually going to make it to the pros. But with that said, we attached a charitable cause to our exhibition team.
Yeah, it's curealzheimers.org, and you can find them at curealz.org. So just to give you a little background, so my dad, he worked for NASA for a lot of years. He was a flight director for the space shuttle program. If you ever watched the movie Apollo 13, Ed Harris plays the role of a flight director. In real life, my dad had that role for the shuttle program. So anyway, he battled early onset Alzheimer's for 7 years before passing away 3 years ago. 3 years ago this March. So he had early onset Alzheimer's. Conan.
Yeah, my grandfather had Alzheimer's when he passed. Also, the coach. Marshall Crown has his family has been affected by Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. So there's a deep connection on Team GridCast with this charity. It's not just some charity we picked out of a hat.
Right.
There's a reason for all of this, and we're going to continue to support this charity as we move forward on the GridCast. This was just a great way for us to announce that kind of relationship. They're a great charity. We've been in touch with them. We're going to support them as we go through it. So listen, guys,
we did some research, too. 100% of every donation goes to the research.
Right. Which not a lot of charities do that. If you should check that online when you see how many charities actually give money to the cause. Here's the thing. For every 100 fans that we get on gridinvitational.com, and we only have till July 15th to get fans, right? So every fan that we get until then, Danny and I, this Team GridCast, right? So we're going to donate money for every 100 fans. And when we win the $50,000, we're also going to donate from the pot to that, because we are going to win the $50,000.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, there's no question in my mind.
No, I didn't even think there was any other team showing up.
No.
Right?
No, and you know what? You know what's really funny, too, is you've seen some throwdowns around the country, and they're picking up these cute kettlebells.
Cute little 25.
Oh, they're
kettlebells.
adorable, right? And then you look at the actual structure of the races. They are no joke. Getting some real weights in on the Invitational. As a matter of fact,
this match is the setup is almost pro level.
Almost pro level. They reduce the reps a little bit, right? But that's it. And you still have to have guys in a partner forward snatch 245 pounds.
That's no joke.
That is no joke. Or a clean ladder that goes up to 340. Or they're doing thrusters.
Now, by the way,
that are at 205 pounds for a male.
We have at least 3 people on our team that can do the clean ladder and get to 340. And one of them is a utility player. That's not
right.
They're
He's
not
even the strength specialist, and he's going to go all the way through the damn ladder.
So let me back up for a minute, though, because I do want to put a shout-out to all those teams that are working their butt off to try to get fans on the site. So this is a little bit of a rub for me personally, and one of the reasons why we didn't come out strong trying to recruit fans initially until the Rhino Chasers and the Fireballs and all these guys tried to poke at us. The Rhino Chasers didn't really poke at us. I shouldn't say that. It was more these Fireball guys.
Right.
Anyway, so one of the reasons we weren't working really hard to recruit a lot of fans because we had this it was a little bit of a guilt complex to think that the teams that need those fans so they can actually get to the Invitational, we would hope that an exhibition team like ours might get invited anyway, right?
Yeah, we hope.
Might.
Right.
Because they're built in that way. There's like 10 teams that go and then 6 teams that didn't get invited, 10 teams from the fan base.
Right.
And we don't want to get in the way of those teams. So I kind of hope, and my gut tells me, that's how the league will end up doing it, how the NPGL will do it. We won't get in the way of another team going.
Sure.
And I don't think we should.
No.
Right? So we still want your fans.
Of course. And we want that,
mostly so we can
for the fans, for make our players, feel inspired to go out there too. And there's a lot of reasons
fans. We'd rather you be fans of the team, not so much for GridCast, right? So be fans of Team GridCast for the athletes that are actually playing, and support the cause. And almost as important is just the fact that we want to support Grid.
Yes.
The reason we started this podcast was to embrace the sport of Grid, get it out to everyone, and share it with everybody that enjoys it, right? So we love Grid.
And I'm just going to say it, too. And also show y'all that we know Grid shit.
Yeah, we do. So that's the other thing. The GM and the coach that are showing up there have a lot of Grid experience.
Yes.
So we're in it to win it. Don't get it twisted.
Absolutely don't get that twisted.
Yeah, so when we show up to play, you're going to be watching us in the matches. So let's not beat up on the other teams anymore, and hopefully we didn't beat up on too much. They're thick-skinned. I know Allen's got thick skin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're good. And then I think Rhinos automatically have thick skin, right?
They do. Who is on these? I saw there's like...
Well, Frederick Agidius, the coach of the New York Rhinos, is on there twice.
Ian Berger, he's on there twice. That's what I was thinking. I was like, there's somebody listed twice, and now they're going to hear this and be like, what?
Right.
I don't know. They maybe.
I don't know if that makes them eligible or ineligible.
I think he might have a twin brother.
Oh, well, that would be
They wouldn't be named the same.
No. Frederick and Frederic? Yeah. I don't know how you say it.
No.
But then there's Mike Bledsoe.
Mike Bledsoe and his wife. Yeah, that's pretty
Ian
cool.
Berger and his wife.
That's pretty cool. So, this is another thing.
And Travis Mash.
So we have going on our team, too, is we have at least 2 that I can recall right now. I think the married partners that are on the team. So, anyway, it's going to be really cool. We're going to bust their nuggets a little bit, the other teams, mostly because we got drug into it. But at the end of the day, we just want everybody, especially our fans, to know that we're not, BSing around. We're not just sending out a team just so we can get attention. No. We're taking a real team out to Grid Invitational, and we want to play some Grid.
Yeah, so head to gridinvitational.com and become a fan of Team GridCast. You can find it. I know it's a long process,
So
guys.
here's what you do.
Sorry, but get on there.
thegridcast.com/vote. thegridcast.com/vote.
And if you want to donate,
right there.
if you want to donate to our charity for curealz.org, you can actually go to thegridcast.com/donate.
That's it. So /vote and /donate, and you're good, man.
All right. So in Quadrant 3, we actually interviewed Will Hall in our facility. He came by and visited us from San Francisco Fire. So let's get on
all the way out of here.
Yeah, which was awesome. No.
We'll see you there.
Get on to Quadrant 3. See ya. Hey guys, I'm really excited about our next guest. He is from the Southern Amateur Grid League, former Southern Amateur Grid League, and also got drafted by the San Francisco Fire from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's Will Hall. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Danny. Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. Just trained a little bit and happy to be on the show.
Yeah, for all of you who saw us when this place was completely empty, and I think we were sharing the space with someone else, this is now where the CrossFit site is. If you want to take a look at the box now, it's still a work in progress, and the grid will be in that big old empty space right there. We're probably within a week or two from that happening. So anyway, thanks for joining us and driving on out here. Tell us a little bit about your past. What got you into functional fitness, and did you play any sports growing up, stuff like that?
I grew up in Central Virginia. Just played football, wrestled. Wasn't really very good at any sports growing up. Like, I was the kind of kid that, I enjoyed the strength and conditioning aspect. Like, I was always just, like, hazing myself, like, in the weight room, like, either during school, after practice, before practice, during practice. But, like,
what does hazing yourself look like?
I don't know. A lot like the stuff that we do now, and actually do on the grid or in CrossFit. I was kind of doing that stuff on my own before I really found out anything about it.
Oh, okay, and I understand that after high school you went into the military. Is that right?
Correct. I joined the Marine Corps in December of 2008, and then changed my life a good little bit, and then basically everything that I have now and have been working towards kind of stems back to that. So. I was in from December of 2008 until right up to the end of 2013.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
So how has your military experience affected your performance on the grid?
I'd say the biggest thing would be kind of just being able to, embrace the suck. Yeah. Because I actually look forward to the tryouts and the races. It may not look like it on TV or on the internet, but like that's actually my favorite race. Yeah. And just kind of being like worn down, and still having to perform. That's one of the things that kind of reminds me of the Marine Corps.
So this past weekend, and I don't know when this is coming out. So when the first weekend of races in San Jose. Were you a part of races 5 and 6 with the burpee box step overs?
Yes, I was a part of.
Oh, my God. I've heard those sucked.
Yeah, I think it just we had practiced them so many times in training and actually ran 2 full match walkthroughs beforehand, like 100%, and, like, it still hit me a lot harder on game day than when it did in training. Like, it just spiked everyone's heart rate up, like, way more than we were expecting it to.
I noticed from a lot of the other teams, if they did – let's say 6 reps, 8 reps apiece, instead of breaking up in 4s like you guys did. Mm-hmm. By later on in the matches, for instance, like Baltimore, they were gassed by the end. It seems like those were the reps that really took it out on people moving forward on the race. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I would agree with that. We actually had a substitution on the women's side after 3 going into 4, and just we used Candace Wagner really, really hard on the first women's echo, and then she subbed out for Colleen Foch for the second one. So, like, she got used so hard in that first women's echo. I think she did like 4, rested 20 seconds, did 4, rested 20 seconds, did 4. And then she subbed out. But, like, for the guys, like, we had a hard time with them. I think everybody did.
Yeah, and just to let people know, even on the Boston Iron team, I can't remember his name right now. Anyway.
Was it Justin?
Yeah, Justin Wright.
Yep.
Justin Wright ended up having to get IV after that.
Yeah.
So, those were no joke. And if people looked at it and they're like, man, those guys are just dragging on through that element, that's why. They're just no freaking joke. 150 pounds, carrying over a box after burpees sucks.
Yeah, we actually were in the stands watching that match with Boston, and one of my good friends plays for the Iron, and we saw that, and like he got used so hard in the first men's echo, then he came back and got used hard again, and like he was doing more work in that echo than I think anybody did all weekend.
Yeah, it's a dagger.
So.
All right, so I understand you're doing weightlifting seminars around the country. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So I'm actually sponsored by a supplement company, Competitive Edge Performance. They kind of support me really in any endeavor that I want to pursue. So if you check out their website, just competitiveedgeperformance.com. This weekend I will be at Bel Air CrossFit. It's probably 45 minutes or so northeast of Baltimore. And then the next one's August 1st at CrossFit Advanced, which is in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
One of my good friends, business partner, he's another co-founder of GridStyle. He's getting married a few days before that, so I'm going to be in town, and then a few of our GridStyle members actually live close to there, so putting on a seminar there as well.
Nice. So how can people find that? to sign up for those weightlifting seminars?
If you just go on competitiveedgeperformance.com and then click on upcoming courses, they do some nutrition stuff. The owner of the company does that, and then right under that is just anything that I've booked coming up in the future. Also, you can contact me, Facebook message me, I don't know, comment on something, and I'll see it, and I can kind of direct you there as well.
Nice. Now, you mentioned Grid Style. I know that's you, Travis Mash, and who is it?
Paul Stewart.
And Paul Stewart. And can you tell everyone a little about what Grid Style, what the purpose of that company is, and what you do?
So the whole thing kind of originated when Travis, the Carolina Crush, the formerly known Carolina Crush, was basically putting their team together. They reached out to Travis because Travis would have been the strongest Masters male in the league. So they contacted him, and Paul and I had been working out at his gym once or twice a week and kind of training with him. So Grid Style came about from us training Travis to get ready for the Grid League.
Oh, nice.
So it was basically, still getting some weightlifting, still getting some powerlifting, like a basic introduction to interval capacity work, developing skills slowly over time. So that's kind of where the idea came from. Since then, it's evolved big time. We have a website now, just teamgridstyle.com, and we offer 3 different options. We have a strength specialist, an all-around athlete, and then a bodyweight specialist.
Nice.
So we have a basic program for each one of them. And then if anybody's interested in, trying out for an amateur league or attending a pro day or going to the MPGL combine or anything like that, we kind of try to steer them towards a pro membership so they can actually receive like an individualized program, and kind of it's a little more advanced than what the basic membership will get them.
All right, gotcha. So you were a part of the Southern Amateur Grid League, commonly known as SAGL or SAGL. And what team was that?
The Carolina Thunder. And
the Carolina Thunder. And how do you think that prepared you for the NPGL?
It was, I really couldn't have asked for anything more. I did the Invitational last November.
We were there?
Yeah, which they had in Columbia. That was a blast. Learned a lot that day, and our head coach for that team, Tim Wright, he did his homework, kind of behind the scenes, and we kind of knew what to expect before we went there. And it was us and one other team that actually knew what was going on, so we actually met each other in the final.
Yeah, nice.
And then
was it Tennessee 10, right? You in Tennessee 10?
No, it was
maybe not.
They had Christy Adkins.
The Brawler girls were in there. Yeah.
And then the other guy, the huge dude that's on Baltimore now, not Klokov for Jared Enderton, Chris Harris.
Yeah.
They had him too. So that was a great experience last November, and then this spring we had 3 or 4 little training weekends together leading up until that. And then I only did 1 match in the SAGL this year, and then kind of took a back seat and started coaching a little bit more.
Okay.
Like once I got drafted by the Fire and all that stuff, basically stepped away from the SAGL just a little bit. But, it prepared me personally more than probably anything else could have.
That's awesome. So other than the obvious, right, what is the biggest difference between the SAGL and NPGL in your mind?
I think a few things come to mind. One would probably be the equipment. Pure Strength does a phenomenal job with the SAGL, but it's still not Alico, no matter how you look at it.
Of course.
Having their rings, their rig, their bars, like you're going to be bleeding, no matter how you look at it from how tacky the barbells are. So equipment's a big one, and then something else that comes to mind is just the intensity that comes with the MPGL versus the SAGL. I guess it's like, kind of the way that the lighting and stuff was set up at the Fit Expo. It was like, it was basically dark and you were kind of spotlighted. So, like, you can hear people screaming and, like, you can see the ownership in the stands. They brought me here. They're paying me to be here. They pay for my flight out here. Like, I got to make them proud of me.
That was intense, by the way. And I don't know if you saw it or not, being an athlete, but there were probably 500 people in line trying to get into the Phoenix versus San Francisco Fire match. Mm-hmm. That was pretty intense.
Yeah, but I'd say those were the big two. It's just the intensity, the equipment, and then lastly would probably be the preparation time that went into the MPGL match versus the SAGL match. Maybe some other teams did it, but for the Thunder, we had people kind of all over the place. We weren't paying them, so we couldn't get together as often. But the Fire actually flew us out there, and we trained together for about 2.5 weeks before our first match. So it was just every day, and everybody knew what was going on. So
right. In episode 25 too, you can see the firehouse that's in there, and you can see the facility that they trained in. That's a top-notch facility that we're also going to have one here at in Providence Gym. What was the biggest thing that surprised you about the NPGL and about San Francisco Fire?
I'd say for the Fire, the biggest thing that surprised me was how much they did their homework on everyone there.
JJ's got it going on.
Yeah, so like I was expecting to be surrounded by great athletes, bodyweight specialists, like guys that were just as strong as me, and everything in between. But like what I wasn't expecting is how well we would mesh together. Yeah. It seemed like everybody was like brother and sister almost, and like all of us kind of clicked right away. And that was probably the biggest surprise to me. Was just like, by the end of that 2.5 weeks, I was like, man, I'm actually going to miss these folks. And so them doing their homework on us as people and not only athletes was probably the biggest surprise for me about the Fire.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the show. I really appreciate you driving out to the facility to check us out. And good luck on the weightlifting seminar, and good luck for the rest of the season. I'm sure I'll see you in the championships. Calling it now. Sure I'll see you in the championships out in Anaheim.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Great show today. Loved having Will in the house.
That was awesome.
Always love having people come visit the gym. If you're ever in the area, and particularly as we get the gym finished, because it won't look like this eventually.
I think next weekend we're getting the flooring in.
Yeah, we get the flooring in, and then after that, the Laco rig will be up. Man, it's going to be freaking the bomb in here. But if you're ever in the area, drop by. You can Google us in Providence Gym, and drop on by, say hi.
Absolutely. And so just to recap a little bit, remember to vote for Team GridCast. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube. I know a lot of you have done that recently. That's great. Now you're going to catch everything that we're going to put up there, so that's great.
Follow us on Periscope, because we do some crazy stuff on Periscope.
I
did last night anyway.
Bit. Yeah. Oh, you did? I didn't see that. All right. So until next time, guys, clean up your jerks and snatches, drink your beer and batches, and always dominate your grid matches. See you later, guys.
See ya.